Even when I used to work out all the time, when I used to work out, when I used to work out.
Ever have protein powder? Yeah, I used to have it. When I used to work out, I used to take protein powders.
I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day. Wow. Once in the morning, right after I work out, and then once right after lunch.
While my title card always has it, I didn't specifically give a shout out to SnortHogan last video. I feel terrible for that, so wanted to do it right away this time. So big ups to SnortHogan. He makes my jab so much easier with his clips.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Snort, 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 Hogan. Drip, snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Yesterday there was a segment on this show where I talked about the large amount of gifted memberships that I received last week here on the channel. If you remember, there were 400 gifted memberships from someone named Nikita and 100 gifted memberships from someone named Duty.
So doing a bit of research on the interwebs, I found that YouTube takes 30% of the revenue made by a membership, and Phil's base membership is $3.99. So to make the math simple, we'll round to $4. This would be $2,000 in memberships. Removing YouTube's 30% brings it down to $1,400, a significant source of Hogan pulls for the guy.
All right. From what I can see, YouTube did not account for the income from those gifted memberships. Okay? Should have. But for some reason, here we are a week later, because the first bomb actually hit on the 7th of January last week. And there's no revenue recorded in my analytics. And I'm like, why would I have so many gifted memberships that count? Because, by the way, you guys have them. You have all the benefits of them. You're using the benefits right now. And they're accounted for in my metrics dashboard saying that, yes, I have these memberships, but no revenue ever accounted, okay?
Full disclosure, I have not watched this video fully. I am stopping and adding as we go. So anyway, I think it was Poem's Future on X or Twitter who said Phil had a bunch of mask off moments in this, and here we already have one. Phil, your dents who got the memberships do not care you're not getting the revenue. They only care that they got the membership. Thus far, this rant serves one purpose, and it's to garner sympathy to get more money. And if that's the case, then the goal of memberships is hollow. You don't care about your memberships. You care about the revenue. You care about the money, and only the money, just like you chastise every other streamer for doing.
So the reason that this even became an issue yesterday is because before I started my stream, I went into a YouTube chat to talk to a YouTube representative about it. And I hate to say it because I've told you guys this a million times before. The YouTube representatives, you might as well talk to like for example, this cleaning cloth right here. Like if I actually talked to this cleaning cloth about a problem on YouTube, I'll probably get a better response out of the cleaning cloth.
Look, I'm no Dave Chappelle, but Christ, I could come up with better material than Phil. And what does he expect exactly? There are literally 2.7 billion active YouTube users, according to Google. Oh, wait. I forgot that Phil thinks he's the main character and that YouTube should be Johnny on the spot with answering his questions and his needs. Because Phil has the patience of an infant.
Than actually talking to the YouTube chat rep. Because even though they're supposed to be there for anyone in the partner program, that's the point. Like their partner support, they don't usually help at all with anything. All they do is they regurgitate form letter nonsense that you can easily find online by doing absolutely no work whatsoever, but instead just copy pasting a bunch of instructional stuff that they have on their desks or in their database.
Damn, Phil, it's almost like you're not important. I swear, Phil's the kind of asshole who would try to get out of a traffic ticket with the old, "Do you know who I am?"
So, yesterday as I was booting up my stream and you guys were hearing the pre-stream music, you heard boop, 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 boop. People were like, what the hell's that? That was their chat as I was talking back and forth with them, explaining the situation, giving them screenshots and everything. And basically, they were like, okay, we'll get back to you. So they did get back to me in the middle of my Resident Evil 0 stream yesterday.
Mask off moment number 2. How dare YouTube get back with him while he's streaming? Don't they know how important he is? Seriously, the ego on this guy is nothing short of astounding.
Okay, so again, people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I got a giant email from YouTube. Let me read it. Literally, it's every piece of nonsense possible. So basically, here's the response. So I looked into it. First of all, here's how gifted memberships work. Like, I don't know.
Phil, they're establishing context, so your Karen-esque ass can't come back with a, well, you didn't tell me that line later.
And they copy paste the entire, like, frequently asked questions about gifted memberships, okay? And then they explain, oh, well, you see, there's all these different factors that come into gifted memberships. There's exchange rates, where not everyone who buys a gifted membership, it's the same cost, so you won't get the same amount per gifted membership depending on where someone lives. There's also the fact that if you're with a partner network, they take a cut of your revenue, so you might not have seen all the money that you were owed from a gifted membership because your partner network took part of it. And this and this and that. So I'm not even kidding you. It's like 10 form letter responses about it.
Now remember, everyone, Phil has a business degree, in which I would think, whatever college he went to, they had a class or a subject on risk mitigation in which he would have learned the reasoning for anal retentive levels of documentation or contracts. And so far, everything YouTube has explained makes sense, 100%. Like, nothing of what he has said has made me think, well, that's a really weird way for YouTube to handle this.
None of which answered the question. So basically, here's what happened. I gave them very specific information about what was going on. I got 500 gifted memberships. You haven't recorded any revenue for any of them. I want to know why. And all they did was copy-paste the 10 possibilities of what it may be without actually doing any intelligent research into what it really is. So imagine, right, if every single night someone is knocking over your trash can, all right? So you want to know who did it, what's causing the trash can getting knocked over every night, right? So you hire a private eye to monitor your trash can.
Calling it out, this is a piss-poor analogy. You haven't hired anyone, Phil. You've asked the trash company in your analogy, what's causing my trash can to fall over? And they sent you a pamphlet on how high winds could cause your trash can to fall over. There is no expectation for the trash company or YouTube to answer to you. Whereas in your analogy, you hired a private eye who would have to answer to you. Again, the mask slips, so mark this as number 3. Phil thinks he's so important and special that he's entitled to a special investigative treatment from YouTube.
Right? Okay. The next morning, the private eye says, so here's 10 things it could be. It could be a raccoon. It could be the wind. It could be a malicious person walking down the street, knocking over your can who they don't like you. It could be like, wait a minute, but you're a private eye. It's your job to look into what's going on and help me with it. Why are you just telling me what it could have been? Why don't you tell me what it is? Oh, well, that requires work.
This fucking guy. Yes, it does require work above and beyond what a normal partner customer service would be. You cannot be this stupid. Moreover, you're likely talking to a Tier 1 representative. These folks have limited authority to do anything. And I have to say it again. You're acting like they're indebted to you to work, that you've paid them to do this work, but you haven't paid shit, Phil. I say once more, this fucking guy.
Correct. You're working. You're at a job, and your job is to work. Not to just copy-paste possibilities, but to actually look into the situation and tell me what caused it, not to tell me what it could have been. This is infamously what YouTube does. They don't actually work. They just tell you what it might be. It was so funny. It was years ago. I remember there was this big epidemic like 5-6 years ago where everyone on YouTube was complaining that people were being unsubbed from their channels. So people would actively subscribe to a YouTube channel. And then all of a sudden, they notice the next day they're not subbed anymore. What gives? I want to be subbed to this channel. Why do you unsub me? And it was a big problem because people were putting out videos. People didn't know that the videos were going out. And all these content creators got together and gave all their evidence to YouTube. YouTube responded, oh, that's not happening. We don't know what you're talking about. And then they fixed it. That's how YouTube operates. They'll deny, and do nothing. And then they'll just fix it behind the scenes.
If that's true, then Phil is operating his business very close to YouTube's strategy, in that he'll deny, but he won't fix shit until consequences are threatening to be had.
Because they know there's a problem, but they won't actually actively do anything up front to help, and then they'll act like nothing ever happened, but it'll be fixed, right? So basically, here's the deal, okay? I don't know what happened, but I have been checking other days. I did look at other days when other people either became a member or gifted memberships. And I can tell you this, I am getting credit for other memberships. It just seems to be those member bombs, the giant ones, that I received last week, that's the issue. Other people who gifted smaller member bombs, like there's some people who did like 5 or 10 members each, 1 member each, those all counted. It's only those 200, 200, 100, those 3 big member bombs, those are the ones that are in limbo and for some reason have never been counted against my channel, okay?
Again, I have to ask, what does this have to do with your audience, Phil? Why are you telling them this? If it's news, it's kind of boring. If you're briefing them because it's a problem, you haven't specified why it's a problem. Your subs are up. For all intents and purposes, you look like you're doing great. Why drone on and on about this shit?
So, it sucks, but what can you do? Because it's funny because some people were saying, is it safe? I know this sounds weird. Is it safe for us to support your channel? Yes. Well, let's see. Either you just don't support at all and I go out of business, right? Or perhaps you take a chance that it'll probably work and then I stay in business and make content for you continuing on. Yes. I mean, it's a silly thing and I understand people don't want to be throwing money into the abyss at YouTube. I buy something from YouTube that's supposed to support Phil and it's not supporting it, right? I'll just tell you this. If you are so afraid, okay, that any contribution you're giving me isn't counting, I mean, there's other ways around that. There's other ways to support. You could always send me a tip.
And there it is. It has nothing to do with his membership goal. It has nothing to do with creating a community. It has nothing to do with curated content. It's the dollar. It's all about the money. The segue from, here's a problem I'm having at YouTube, to, you can tip me. Yeah, I'm marking it. That's mask off instance number 4.
You could always pledge to my Patreon, all right? I'm not telling you to do that because what I've seen in the data is that Super Chats 100% are working, for sure. All those Super Chats I got that week, remember I got a couple really big ones last week? They all counted, and that's all recorded properly. And the other gifted memberships, all are good. It's only those particular big member bombs, all right, that are the problem. So don't feel afraid, oh my God, I'm going to renew my membership. Is it going to count? Yeah, it's counting. It's just that it looks like that one thing. And that the unfortunate part is that's a huge thing. 500 gifted memberships is a lot. If you do the math, I'm not even kidding. It's over $1,000. And that would help a ton this month because all the ad revenue on YouTube plummets on January. So all that extra ad revenue I was getting in the fall is gone now. And that would help to make up for that loss.
The revenue that's lost. You fucking piece of shit. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but Piece of Peace does a DSP spreadsheet which documents what tips he got per day. I've taken those figures for December of 23, which you can see here. If you want to fact check this, go to the spreadsheet. It's where I got the figures from. Summed that up, and it's $5,086. Now, in an earlier video, I did calculations of how many hours Phil, quote-unquote, works. And it's 11 hours a day, 6 days a week for 66 hours, 264 hours a month. Well, you take that, you divide that by that $5,000 figure, and this motherfucker is bringing in $19.26 an hour in tips. We know he doesn't actually work 66 hours a week, but for the sake of this, we'll just say he is. This doesn't factor in Super Chats, the YouTube revenue from ads, members, Patreon, none of that. But oh, poor Phil, he just can't make ends meet. From the bottom of my heart, Phil, fuck you.
And there's nothing I can really do about that, all right? So, if you want to support the channel, please do. If I get any updates on this, I hope I would. Now, yesterday during my Resident Evil 0 stream, when they hit me with the form letter response, like literally it was 10 facts with 0 specific information, just general information that doesn't really apply to me. I responded back to the email and I said, this is not what I want. This is not help. You are basically giving me form letter stuff that doesn't apply to me. Your information is incorrect. This is a violation of your partner agreement.
Oh, goody. The DS president of the PTA, Darkside Karen, has arrived. This is in violation of your partner agreement. Well, what you gonna do about it, bitch? I mean, we know the answer to this. It's a big nothing burger is what he's gonna do, because he can't do jack shit. Because we know he can't afford an attorney. Well, he could, but sweaty men JPEGs aren't gonna pull themselves. And he's too much of a coward to file the suit himself, so I guess Karen it is. I wonder if he asks to speak to the manager.
If you don't pay me for those gifted memberships, or if you don't give me a reason why you're not paying me, you're actually violating the partner agreement, which is a violation of a contract in the state of California, and you're liable for it.
Did you hear that, YouTube? Lawyer side Phil passed the bar in Oregon and... Wait. Hold on, what? Not in Oregon. Okay. Sorry. He passed the bar in California and he... Hold on. What? Not in California. Nowhere. So he's talking out his ass. Okay, well, apparently Phil Googled something and now thinks he's an expert. I can't wait to see how that plays out for him.
So I want an answer. And, of course, here we are. 20 hours, 22 hours, zero response.
What did you think would happen in 20 hours, you troglodyte? Do you think there's some red phone that YouTube support picks up if they get a strongly worded email from a partner? Phil, to YouTube, you are insignificant. Do you learn nothing? Oh, that's a stupid question. Do you remember what happened with Twitch when you tried to flex your legal muscle with them? I hope YouTube boots you out of the partner program so hard your asshole becomes a part of your throat.
Because, again, this is how YouTube operates. They probably won't respond, and then all of a sudden, I'll get the revenue. It'll show, or I will get a message about, oh, just so you know, those were fraudulent, and therefore you're not getting it. Like, that's how YouTube operates. They'll ignore you, won't acknowledge anything, and then there's a resolution. That's just how they work. They've never, in my entire history of me working with YouTube, have I ever seen them, when I've asked them for something like this, have they ever admitted that something's wrong on their fault and they'll fix it? Never. It's always bullshit. So
they never admit they're wrong or that it's their fault. Pot, have you met Kettle? Kettle, have you met Pot? He's so close. Self-realization is right there, but it slips away again.
It is what it is. I hope that you guys are don't feel like this is a big deal, because in reality, is it the end of, or is it a make or break situation? It's not. It's very unfortunate that I'm in this situation, but it does look to me like it's all right. Everything else is working fine. Please continue to act as business as usual. If you like the channel, please support it in any way, whether that be a membership, a gifted membership, a super chat, a super thanks, a tip, a Patreon pledge for a private video, or whatever you want to do. It's all good and it all helps. All right? I don't want you to freak out, because this is not the sky is falling, end of the world stuff. It just sucks that it has intervened into what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you were saying. You don't have to keep asking.
Like, I wish that I could just operate smoothly and not have any issue, but instead we got a situation where you guys already knew about it because of what was everything going on. It kind of messing up here, okay?
So to be clear, it's no big deal, but here's a play-by-play of what you're having to deal with, which serves what purpose, Phil? If it's business as usual, why does anyone need to know this?
I just got an Are you shitting me? I'm not even kidding you. I got an answer, and the answer is, of course, terrible. Hold on, because I'm about to sneeze. I'm not kidding you. As we're doing the podcast, I just got an answer.
This is me sparing you 18 seconds of dead air. You're welcome.
Okay, listen to this. Let's see if you like this answer. I don't think I like the answer, but at least it's an answer. I can't believe live, as I'm telling you the story, we got our answer from YouTube. And it's actually a legit answer this time. Okay? Are you ready? So basically, in a nutshell, because I just read it, here's what YouTube says how it works with gifted memberships, okay? Let's say, for example, right now, I don't know, Gabriel. Gabriel, you're on the stream, right? There you are. Let's say you dropped a 10-member bomb on this channel right now, okay? So, boom, immediately in the chat, you would see 10 members have been gifted out, and it goes to these 10 people, and I would shout it out, right? Now, if those people are actively on the stream, okay, what you do, I don't know how this works. Do you claim it? When you guys get gifted a membership, do you manually claim the membership? Is there a process by which you're like, oh, you've been gifted a membership, congrats, and you like click here or whatever? See, I don't know how it works.
15 years, ladies and gentlemen. Been here 15 years. Been here since membership started, and knows enough about the partner agreement to write a passive-aggressive email about how they're violating it, but no idea how memberships work.
Is that what it actually says? Can you guys confirm? Because anyone who's gotten a gifted membership, can you confirm how it works? How do you get the gifted membership? So if you've ticked your box in settings, it's automatic, okay? It's automatic once you opt in. If you opt in, it's considered automatic. Here's what YouTube just told me, okay? Basically, what YouTube just told me is that so many memberships were gifted to the channel, all right, that basically they were assigned, but they won't count towards the channel until the person actively gets them.
Holy viewbots, Batman. How could someone be gifted a membership and not get it? It's viewbots. At least with the information I have, I think it's viewbots.
It shows up, you'll end up getting an email saying you got one. Now, I don't know what that means. They're calling it claimed. That's what it says here, okay? So, it says, it shows that some of your gifted memberships from the previous days are claimed during later dates. That's what he just wrote me in the email, all right? So what YouTube is claiming, doesn't mean this is true, because YouTube talks out of their ass all the time.
Pot, kettle, pot.
All right? What YouTube is claiming is that on the days that the 200 member bomb came in, people weren't around to claim them all. The 200 people who got them weren't there. The day when they actually claim the membership, I'll get revenue for it. That's what they're saying. So for example, again, if Gabriel gifted 10 memberships to the channel, and the 10 people who get those gifted memberships are sitting in the chat talking, that's considered claiming it instantly, and I get revenue for it right now. But in the case of gifting 200 memberships, okay, and I'm assuming all 200 people were not on the stream to claim them, those people actively have to, I guess, log in or join a chat or do something to claim them, and then I get paid for it.
Don't care, didn't ask, cry about it, stay mad, get real, L mold seed cope.
That's what YouTube is telling me. So what YouTube is saying is, if you look at some future dates of your revenue, you'll notice that 1 or 2 days you've got a boosted revenue, and that's because some of the more memberships got claimed. So essentially, they're saying you should get credit for all the gifted memberships, but it's going to take a while, especially if with those 500 people, those aren't people who watch your content all the time. They have to actually actively show up and log in and everything, and then you'll get credit.
I truly hope that a fuck ton of those memberships were gifted to people he ripped into, timed out, or otherwise disrespected, so he can log in daily going, "Did it hit yet?" Meaning he'll actually suffer some consequences for being an insufferable douche canoe.
That's what YouTube is telling me right now, okay? And yes, for Helgen, to answer your question, that does mean you can get a gifted membership without being on the stream for sure. There could be someone who's like hasn't been on the stream for a while and gets a gifted membership, and if they don't claim it, then I don't get credit for it. That's what YouTube is saying.
I got money, says the priority he puts on memberships. Tanks in the near future.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. All right, so this is our, at least we got an answer. Do you like the answer? I don't know if I like the answer. I think that at least I have an answer. I'm glad that I got an answer. I don't think I like the answer, though. Like, someone paid for those memberships. The money was taken. Those memberships were divvied out. I don't care if anyone ever logs into their account to claim it. I should get credit for it.
Mask Slip 5. I don't care about what the terms of service are, even though in this stream I flexed on YouTube saying you have to abide by this contract. I want special treatment. You fucking child.
Right? From what I'm going to understand, and I think the only person that could really answer this, I know this would be weird, would be Only Iced Coffee. Because when gifted memberships began, I think it was like 2.5 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, Only Iced Coffee was the first person to buy them. And you know what happened when he I guess, well, at this point, they bought them? Sorry, because I believe they're transitioning, and I think at that point, Only Iced Coffee was he, but now it's she. So now I have no idea what to say, and now I probably look like a jackass no matter what I say, so I'm just going to say they, okay?
Not just now, Phil. You always look like a jackass.
Okay. So, if Only Iced Coffee was the first person to buy gifted memberships, you know what happened? They got refunded. Now, I don't know if they all got refunded, if some got refunded, because what happened was people had to sign up for the memberships first to say, oh, I approve them, I'll accept them, and no one had because it had just launched. So, they got refunded, but did they get refunded for all? Did some get refunded? How did it work? Because I'm sorry, but I'll be honest with you. I'll be pretty upset if people are supporting my channel, buying gifted memberships, and YouTube keeps the money and doesn't refund it if they don't get assigned. right?
A new low for Phil and Mask Slip 6. He's not white knighting for his members. He wants the money. And the veil he's using to cover his greed is so thin, crepe paper be looking thick.
Right? That doesn't make sense to me at all. It's like, I don't care if anyone ever uses the membership. The whole point of gifted memberships is to help the streamer, right? That's the point. You're trying to help the community, help the streamer. Even if you buy 100 gifted memberships and only 70 get assigned, the other 30, what happens to them? Just fucking give them out anyway. You know what I mean? Even if a person never uses it, it should still count. I don't like that. What? What the fuck?
Mask Slip 7. Why do you care, Phil? The people who use the memberships use them. The ones that don't, they likely get refunded. You have experience with this, so likely no one is out any money for the unused membership, so why are you so upset about it? Unless, of course, it has nothing to do with the memberships and all you care about is the money.
So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see exactly how this is working. But, according to YouTube, over the next, I guess, days to weeks, I should slowly get credit for all of those memberships, like a trickle, which sounds like bullshit to me. Sounds like the moment that that's charged and cleared, I should get credit. Transaction's done.
Mask Slip 8.
That way, everyone is good on every end. No one's unhappy, right? I think that's nonsense. But again, I don't run YouTube. And the people in charge over there do whatever they want. They certainly don't do things in any kind of a logical way for people who use the site. That's another thing that I've known from over the years using YouTube. That the way they run that site is based on a behind-the-scenes weird coding mentality. They don't actually do, like, they have book smarts and no street smarts, right? They understand the code, they understand the technicality, they don't understand the day-to-day use of the site.
So Phil is street smart, going outside like 3 hours a week. Phil knows what's up. Phil is the repository of knowledge on the usage of YouTube. How lucky are we to have Phil?
Not a bad deal if I say so myself. Kill me, please. I want to die.
So people who actually use the site every day say, that doesn't make sense. You're changing something on the site. It doesn't make sense this way. Do it this way. And they're like, huh? They don't even understand how the site works. And they're the ones who run it, you know? So anyway, we got our live answer. That was amazing coincidence that we got our live answer as I'm streaming. So rest assured, if you do support this channel via any method, I'm getting it right now. It's just these member bombs, these giant ones that seem to be in limbo, and whether or not I'll truly slowly get credit for them or not, I have absolutely no idea. I guess we'll find out. I'll try to keep my eyes peeled and see over the course of the month what really happens here, okay?
Oh, thank you, Phil. I'm on pins and needles about whether or not you get income that you can blow on Sweaty Man JPEGs to become #1 for 5 fucking minutes on WWE Champions. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. I had to hear what this member bomb bullshit was about, and I didn't even hear him mention anything about the other country's exchange rate plot twist, so maybe that'll be a thing, and maybe I'll do a video. Till next time, swole is the goal for a troll, lift heavy, eat clean.